Right, hey guys, hope you're doing well. Tom and Liam here, just going to talk you through a couple of pointers. Now we are into phase 2. So gymnastics is back, strength class is back. I think we're all really happy that, hey, it's nice to be back in the gym, but it's also nice to be getting a bit stronger. So a few of you have been kind of like getting back into it, feeling like training's improving, maybe a little bit of muscle soreness creeping in. But today we're just going to quickly touch on a few key points for strength classes. Now, they're in the evening. You've got ones through the weekend. We've also got ones at the weekend. But just to start us off, Tom, like, mate, with strength as our primary focus, if we're training in the evening, what kind of couple of things, maybe a few key points that we need to make sure that we're boxing off to get the most out of our sessions?
I think number one thing I see with kind of evening training is people going into that session having not got enough fuel in the tank, so not eating enough to support that training performance, and therefore maybe struggling to hit the percentages, struggling to to push that barbell around and be in charge of it. So the simplest thing is maybe thinking about just working back from if your class says like it's 6:30, then you just need to take that 5 minutes to think about a little bit of structure, kind of a little bit of frequency, because often, we'll have something to eat at lunch, but that's a long period to go, isn't it, between having lunch and then being in the gym at kind of 6 o'clock. So we either see people not eating at all or grabbing something, sometimes maybe not the best choice, and it's kind of, they're having it 30 minutes before they're walking in the door. So
yeah, that's a really key point. Yeah, really key point there. Like you touched on two things: working back from your session. So it doesn't matter if it's 7:30, or whatever. You can work back and like say regular patterns of eating. And you touched on it there. You said frequency. Yeah. So how much would you kind of recommend? So if I'm training at 7:30 and I eat my lunch at maybe 1 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock, would you want me to eat once or twice? What would you kind of recommend?
Well, definitely want you to eat at least once, because I don't want you going between lunch and not training. Again, sometimes it may be depending on people's work schedules, what they're up to, if they're at a desk or not, but definitely once. Obviously, if it once, it's going to be maybe a little bit bigger. Yeah. So it may be, it may be kind of something that's kind of 250 to 400 calories. Yeah. If it's something that you might eat twice, you may have kind of two little snacks of 100 to 200 calories. You don't sometimes need a lot. But you just want to supply your body with a little bit of kind of available energy that it can use and harness for when you get in the gym.
Yeah, that's perfect, mate. I think, like you say, if it's once, you need to be a little bit bigger and a little bit further away. So maybe like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, splitting that time in half between lunch and training session. But if it's you're going to eat twice, let's say, then you can be a bit more frequent with it. So look, one point as well, just to touch on there, guys, like if it's evening training, you're finishing late. So you might be finishing session at 8:15, 8:30, maybe, a little bit later if you're going to kind of cool down. So look, one of the key points that we work with clients is having something either quick cook, no cook, or already prepared for that post-workout period. So you're not getting home and then having to cook something for 50 minutes. I think we've both been using Gusto, like they've got 10-minute meals on there, 10 minutes, or making sure, like be proactive, making sure that you've got something post-workout to consume, and then that you're not saying like getting back and then eating at like 11 o'clock at night. That's a real key thing. And that's also going to have a knock-on effect to the subsequent sessions the next day. Good. So like evening sessions, I think going into it fueled, making sure that you're getting the most out of the sessions and you're not just getting through. And then backloading a load of your calories late at night. But what if we're training in the morning? What if we're training the weekends? Like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Like what's the key points I need to focus on? Because I'm trying to get stronger, T. I need to know.
So again, if we're trying to get stronger, like got to fuel the fight, right? So we've got time there to have something to eat. It hasn't got to be a full sit-down meal. Yeah. But it could be, kind of 90 minutes to 2 hours before. It could be a great opportunity, to have a smoothie, to have, a bagel with some nut butter, some yogurt and fruit, so we can get some fuel into you. So you can go into that session again with readily available energy rather than using, stored energy. So again, it's just that little bit of planning, like getting up rather than staying in bed but again, you're going to have a better workout. Like, I would much rather someone come into the gym fueled. They're going to probably more likely to perform better, hit the percentages, hit the reps, and then like you'll burn more calories, you're more likely to build more muscle anyway, rather than like struggling to get through.
Yeah, and it's like you say, you've got to, the biggest thing for strength training is the stimulus. You need to create a stimulus for adaptation, and if you're fueling the fight, you're going into it, then you're going to get a better adaptation. You're going to create a larger stimulus. But you're also going to have circulating nutrients such as protein. And we know protein is so crucial for gaining strength and muscle. Now, like you say, if you haven't eaten before that session, and look, intermittent fasting is something, it's a complete topic that we're not against. But when you're trying to get stronger, your primary goal should be fueling and distributing your protein intake across the day to maximize muscle protein synthesis is a crucial element to this. So eating pre-workout, maybe 8 a.m. If I ate at like 8 a.m., maybe 2 hours before my session, and that contains some form of protein, that's going to distribute my protein intake over the day and maximize muscle protein synthesis and reduce muscle protein breakdown, which is going to make me stronger, right?
Of course.
Perfect. But what if I want to do back-to-back sessions? If I'm doing like gymnastics, or if I'm doing CrossFit, if I'm doing, the sweat class or whatever, what if I'm doing kind of like 2 hours, 3 hours in a row? How do I make sure that I'm not going to be losing my gains?
Okay. So yeah, particularly going into that second session, we're already kind of depleted energy, haven't we? So we may need a little bit of a top up.
Yeah.
So a good option to do would be, rather than maybe you have like a recovery shake, you have like a Bear Bells drink, something like that, protein shake post workout. If you're just doing, say, strength training as your second session, so you're not doing burpee box jumps and wall balls and all this kind of stuff, you could actually be sipping on something, little and often throughout that session.
Yeah.
Just to provide your body with a little bit of energy, and your body's, available there to take nutrients on board already after that first session. So I know clients that have had great success when training in that kind of mid-morning window, where they'll make almost like a double portion recovery shake. So they'll go like two scoops of protein, kind of double carbs. They'll put some creatine in as well, and maybe they'll have half before.
Yeah.
And then if they're doing a longer session, 90 minutes to 2 hours, they'll start sipping on that into their second session, and to kind of keep those performance levels up, keep your hydration level up as well, which is really important to maintain performance too.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so if I did that, then like I say, I'm minimizing the catabolic nature of doing a longer session. And so, like I say, I'm my primary goal is to get stronger, so I need to be making sure that my nutrition is aligned to this. So plus it's long, it's hard, it's glycogen depleting, and we know that we need glycogen and carbohydrates for energy in this type of exercise kind of modality. We know if we were sitting on an exercise bike at maybe 50% for 30 minutes afterwards, then the requirement to kind of consume that post-workout would maybe be a bit less, because I would be using fat as maybe a primary energy source. But because I'm going to go and be doing strength hypertrophy training, like that requires me to be, let's say, fueling the tank. So yeah, guys, just to recap there, like you say, if you're training once, if you're just doing a session, just go into it fueled, eat something pre-workout, making sure that you get the most out of the session. But if you're doing back to back, use Tom's tips there to be like, putting a shake in between the two sessions, making sure that you're, like I say, topping up energy levels, but also starting to kickstart that recovery process and get that kind of, protein synthesis happening to help you to kind of build muscle. So, really, really good tips there. So look, guys, we've got on the hub, we've got, our timing of training series. It's just actually something that we've just updated the program here. So no matter when you're training, you've got, advice on morning training, what to eat pre, intra, post. If you're training lunchtime classes, so they're 11 a.m. Evening training, like I say, what we spoke about there, meal structure over the day. So we're talking about this, and we're giving you some, some really, really kind of simple, options. but we're also going to talk about like some practical applications. And again, here we're going to break it down into a little bit more here. So guys, if you're not on the hub, this is something that we've got on here, you know, for you to access as well. And a really kind of recent update is if you are going to be doing, you know, both aerobic and strength training, Tom's just got a new video about concurrent training here where he talks about, you know, how to kind of structure your nutrition training to get the most out of it. So fantastic stuff, mate. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody get a little bit stronger, support, you know, the strength classes that are back in the on the schedule now. Guys, if you are interested on the hub, all you need to do is click on the link on the Sleven website, and come over to the PH Nutrition website. Click on here and you can get access for just £10 a month. We've got so much content on here. We've got loads of exclusive stuff for Sleven members as well that's going to be coming in the future. So make sure that you're jumping on board, and me and Tom will see you all very, very soon. Any questions, fire them back to us or to Nick, Tim and Lauren, and then we'll pass them on and we'll make sure to get them answered. Top man. Anything else, Tom?
All good. Let's go get strong.
Yeah, buddy. Good stuff, guys.